All right, sir, your boy, Dave, tell us, please, what is happening on, what is going on with Dave Filoni and Star Wars as a whole.
Yeah, lots of big shakeup news coming out from our friends. I say this like we know this publications, but yeah, there's some big stuff
Personal
coming out from
personal friend Dave Filoni, I can call him up right
yes, Dave. We're on a first name basis.
now.
Uh, no, seriously, big stuff coming out over from Vanity Fair, and let me tell you, it's very much worth taking your time to read the Vanity Fair article. I want to be clear. This is where the exclusive interview and the details came out from Disney's side when they get passed along from Vanity Fair. There's a lot of Obed. I slipped back and I just started going through like YouTube and some of the stuff on social,
Right.
and there's a lot of people you can, it's extremely obvious they did not read the article and they took one thing and then just started saying whatever. It's very obvious some people have not taken time to read and
Right.
are chiming in with it with some very skewed opinions like Kathleen Kennedy's gone. Did you even read it? It's literally like explained like why
Like
she's not gone, what their plan is with her.
hierarchy and all that. Yeah. Yeah.
Right, literally the entire process, right? Yeah, like literally at the beginning, our Filoni will now work more directly with Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy alongside Carrie Beck. Like that's literally like the start of the article, right?
Right.
Anyways, so yeah, so Dave's now in this role as he's been moved into as the chief creative officer over at Lucasfilm, and basically what this means is any and all projects he is there from inception to completion. In his prior role as a creative producer, he would basically come in towards the end or sometimes in the middle of a project. Most more likely at the end. And he talked about this at length in the article where he's like he literally says like there were like the difference before is that there were projects that he would be brought into and they were already well into production, well almost done. So he could say certain things, but how much could they really change? And they've already committed a budget and
Right.
specific plans and stuff. They couldn't really change much. Now, because he can be there at the inception, he can actually say things and have a voice and a governing vote. Now, does that mean that everything has to be Dave approved? No. He refers to it actually in the article says that it's very much like the Jedi Council where he now has a seat at the table. It's exactly how he phrases it. He's
Yeah.
now like the council, his seat at the table, and he can say things at the table of hey, this is why we should or should not do certain things, or here's the maybe the yes and approach to specific projects. So this is huge
He
because
was granted
like
the rank of master.
he was granted the rank of master.
Right.
Exactly. This is huge because like you look at projects before, like Book of Boba Fett, right? That you can see that there were specific things that were Dave-ish, but it didn't feel the same as say
Right.
like The Mandalorian,
Right.
where he was very clearly a showrunner with John
You
Favreau
can
on.
tell, like when you like Book of Boba Fett is a great example. Like
Right.
I'm glad you brought it up because you when you're watching that show, you go and even without knowing, you go it's like this
Hmm.
is Dave's episode because like
Correct.
yeah
Exactly.
yeah
Yep. So I think it's gonna be like similar, like you said. Like even Andor. I know people think Andor. Many people think Andor's
right.
the best thing, whatever, and I think it's really good. Like Star Wars needed Andor, right? But there's a Dave flavor that it just doesn't have.
It
Now
doesn't no right
that could be something that some people would say was a positive or a negative depending on who you talk to. I personally don't think Dave's the kind of executive that's going to come in and interfere with something that is working. I think he will voice his opinion and kind of let them cook at the end of the day. But the fact that he can actually voice his opinion, I think is profound enough because he is the protege. He is the chosen one of George Lucas. Like he is the one. Like when he says in these interviews with Ahsoka, and people are real mad. Well, I knew no, not just anyone can use the Force. George literally says anyone can use the Force. Dave, and what he's saying in his article in his interviews is the
right
same thing.
same
Like
thing.
almost everything he says is like echoing what George has said. That's what you need. You need someone to be that chosen one in essence in these scenarios,
Right.
and this is great.
Yeah, no, definitely is good news. Is it the best news? Is the best news right now?
Right. Yep.
It's a step in the right direction. Like, are we gonna get there? possibly, right? And we'll talk Bob here in a minute, but the way that I think Disney as a whole is kind of like shifting gears right now. I think this is for the best.
Yeah.
I think eventually, right? Like I said, I think that we still have uh, Kathleen Kennedy up until the end of her contract, and nothing's gonna change that. Like
Mm.
this guy's posting videos out there, guys. No, they don't. They don't know how these things work. They don't know how, you know, this really operates. And the truth of the matter is that um, whether you like her or not, right? Whether you like Kathleen Kennedy or not, and I've said it before, right? You cannot deny her track record. Like her track record right now
Yeah.
in the last
Yeah.
10 years may be iffy,
Yeah.
but you go back, bro, and like that resume stacked.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why, right? And I think that they kind of don't want to lose hope. We as fans did,
Hmm.
but I think that the company doesn't want to lose hope. But I think eventually it's gonna get to the point where
Yeah.
choices are gonna have to be made, right? And once that contract's expired, she becomes a free agent. So um,
But
you know,
this is a huge thing too, because allegedly the way it's worded, it's
right,
almost like she chose him for this like promotion. And there's been a few things I've heard people say about that whole thing, that it's almost like she knows she's on the way out, and she kind of purposely, because she knows the feedback has been, hey, people really like Dave.
right.
And it's almost like Disney was like, yeah, that's okay, because you're basically setting him up to be a successor. Because he only really had, he went from just running Star Wars The Clone Wars, running another animated Rebels. Like now, then he became like a producer on show, director on episodes. Like
Hmm.
little by little, he's getting experience in the industry. And now, as an executive level, as an executive creative at that level, he's now learning also the business side, mixing with the story side.
Yeah,
Like he lacked
I think
maybe
like
some of
a
the business
like
acumen to run a
he
production company.
right,
And now he's going to have it.
right. His growth in the last 5 years have been nothing less explosive is the right word,
Huge.
right? Because yeah, that's totally right. He went from being a cartoon showrunner, right, to having input in larger creative things, and then be able to write, being able to direct, and be hands on with his projects. Now as a creative, he's gonna get to manage budgets and all this stuff
That's what I'm
that he's
saying. Yep.
missing, right?
The
Like
business side.
the skills that he's missing right now, he's going to acquire in this new position, and that is going to set him up for an eventual
Right.
president role. So
It's very much
yeah,
Kevin Feige. Like
basically,
Feige had the
right.
same thing. He was like a little producer on like Spider-Man, and he did little things. Like he was
X-Men,
known for
right? Yeah.
right. He was known for being really good in post-production for like editing projects. He was a video editor, all this stuff. And then like now the dude's running an entire business on the Marvel studio,
Right.
entire studio.
Right. Yeah.
It's
And
almost the same.
it's good. Like I think
Yeah.
this is a good change. It's a positive change. It's a change that we needed for Star
Yes.
Wars, right? But we're not there yet. It's gonna take it's gonna take some time. Well, it's gonna take some time for two things, right? It's gonna take some time
Yeah.
for fans to, I guess, open up to Star Wars again, right? I know, and that it's kind of been, well, a lot of fans turned their back on it, and I know that they the priority right now for Disney shouldn't be getting new fans in, is bringing those old fans back.
Yeah.
That should be the
Yeah.
priority at Lucasfilm right now. So because you got new fans, like new fans are gonna come in either way, right? So, but you gotta go back and get those guys like that checked out. Um, it's unfortunate, right? But it was kind of like of their own doing, and now they gotta clean the mess, right? they spilled the tea. Now they gotta clean the table. But
Yeah.
I'd rather them clean the table, right, and then and then be able to have more tea than not have no tea
Yeah.
at all. So
Yeah.
um, yeah, I'm good with it, right? And he's been very respectful of both what the work that George did, and the work that the sequels
Yeah.
did. So will stuff get retcon? We don't know, right? We got that Ray thing coming out that apparently it's official, right? It's like
Yeah.
there's news about it again. There's articles out there. So yeah, but I'm happy for Dave, man, and I really do hope that turns the ship around, the things that turns the Star Cruiser around,
Nice.
and we're able to find uh, Star Wars again. So I'm excited. I'm excited for the future. Right now I'm okay because Ahsoka wasn't awful. Ahsoka was fun, was good. I enjoyed it. It was
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
No, I'm looking forward to Andor
Yeah.
and whatever the smaller projects are in between. But
But
yeah, go ahead.
I'll say, but that's the thing people need to also, before the headlines start going crazy and people on social media lose their minds, he just got this promotion, guys. So anything that comes out, like when Skeleton Crew comes out, don't be like, well, this stinks. This is Dave Filoni.
Yeah,
Guys, that's
it's
been
Dave's
like in
fault.
the works before him. Like he just got in the role. Like it's gonna take at least like 2-3 years before
Right.
you start actually seeing his full hands-on
That's like
project
blaming
full.
Iger for the Marvels, right? Because
Correct.
that's
Exactly.
that
Like it's a no-brainer.
he made it clear. He didn't say it. All right, all right, we're good. All right,
Yeah. Go, go,
all
go. You're good.
right.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, so no, yeah, Dave, we wish you well. We can't wait to see. We'll be watching your career with much interest. So, hold on, I gotta drop it. I gotta drop it. Good.